Hey everyone, Evan Miles here, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about breathing. Now, one of the most prominent things that my singers and students tell me when they're practicing on their own is, I'm having a hard time getting through this phrase, or I'm having a hard time hitting these higher notes. And almost always that has to do with breathing, and not just breathing, but everything that sets us up to sing. Essentially, what happens is we're looking to set ourselves up so that we begin the process of singing before we actually phonate or open our mouths and create any noise at all. And that starts with breathing. But before breathing, it even starts with a word you might come to know from grade school, posture. Or as a word that I like a little better than posture, being alignment. Now, something that I tell my students and my singers is to try to stand from the waist up. Right now I'm sitting on a stool. A stool is actually a really great way to sit because you're not able to like lean back, or you're not able to, really lean over like this. A lot of times when we're at home and we're working on our computer, we're working like this, right? And this is not a conducive sound to singing. So why would we want to do that when we're trying to sing or in our rehearsals, right? You notice how my whole chest cavity is down, forward, compressed, and it's not expansive, it's not setting us up for success, right? Another way we like to stand or sit is sort of like off to the side, or like the whole I'm too cool for that pose that we get sometimes in high school. That's not really how we want to be aligned when we begin singing. First thing we really want to do is make sure that our upper chest cavity is visible and sort of expanded out. We don't want to go too far and be one of those singers that kind of puffs their chest out like this when they sing. That doesn't really help either. That actually causes different problems. But more often than not, we're not going to push it that far forward. So one way to help us is, the first thing I like to do is to just make sure that my spine feels supporting in all elements of my back, right? So my upper back, shoulders, shoulder blades, mid back, lower back. I want to feel like this is all not necessarily straight, because we don't want to have our spines be completely straight, but just supported, right? This is plenty right here. So you can see that there isn't a huge curve, my head isn't pointed down, it's just right side up, and just everything feels pretty balanced in this position. And you'll already see that my chest looks a little bit more up, and my tummy is a little bit out a little bit more, right? Another thing I'd like to do is start off by rolling my shoulders forward. So let's roll our shoulders forward together. This actually loosens up a lot of our muscles around our neck, which is what we want anyway. We want everything to be very loose, right? And then we roll our shoulders backward. And this is actually more important, because when we finish rolling our shoulders back, we're going to have them drop. And when they drop, they're going to be in the most conducive place for us to sing, right? So they're going to just drop right there. So this is how I'm sitting right now, from the side and from here. This is a way I can take a full breath. And when I breathe, I think of breathing, you might have heard this, low and fat, right? But it's not just a low and a fat breath. As we like to say, we leave our six packs at home when we come to choir rehearsal. It's a low and expansive breath, right? We want the diaphragm to actually move down and up. Even though we think, and we maybe said, breathe from your diaphragm, that doesn't really make sense. The diaphragm actually goes up and down depending on our lungs filling up with air. So our lungs are here, right? And then our diaphragm goes down when we breathe in. So we want that expanse to happen here. And when it goes down, this diaphragm, everything is going to expand. Not just the tummy, but the sides and the back too. So what I like to do to monitor this is I take my hands like so, all 5 fingers out. I put my pinky on top of my belly button, and I put my thumb right along the lower side of my rib cage, like so, like this, kind of near my sternum. And then my right hand will go right near my rib cage on the side, one of the sides. And when I breathe in, I should be able to feel not only this expanse, but also this expanse, right? So I want to feel all of it. So take that breath with me. Ready? And it should feel a little bit more than what you're used to, I would say. Yeah? Let's try that again. Let's try now to inhale on 4 counts and exhale on 4 counts with that kind of expansion. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Does that feel good? Does that feel relaxing? It's actually a process in meditation, right? So now let's add some degree of phonation to this. And I like to do it by way of a shh, right? So I'll give you an example of 4 counts of inhalation and then 4 counts of shh. So ready? And 1. You'll notice that my shoulders aren't lifting that much. You might see a little bit of lift, but what you're really seeing more is the expansion here. That's what we want. We don't need their shoulders when we breathe. We really need all of this motion here. Make sense? So do it with me. We're going to inhale on 4 counts and we're going to exhale on shh on 4 counts. Ready? And inhale, 2, 3, 4, shh, 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4, shh, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4, shh, 2, 3, 4. Very good. You should feel pretty relaxed. This shouldn't hurt or feel awkward at all. Actually, you should probably feel like you're breathing a little deeper than you normally do. Another thing to think about that I like to envision, if you're one of those people that really enjoys visual learning, you're a visual learner, I like to think of this as a billows breath, right? So we have a fire billows and we're really expanding it out and we're expanding it like so. That's one way to think about it that I like. Another way is to think of it as the reverse umbrella. So you have an umbrella, right? And then we're pointing it down, right? Or upside down. Like pretend like this is an upside down umbrella and we're going so it expands down and low and then up and out, right? So that's kind of the idea. Let's do in on 2, out on 6. Ready? And 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Now let's do in on 1, out on 8. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Let it all out. That is how much air you should be intaking, and the level of control in which you're expelling the air should be over time, like that, right? This is something that's great to practice on your own, just by yourself, even before you go to sing. You can practice it on the way out to the mailbox. And that way, any people you meet outside, they will just think that you're shushing them very oddly and for a long period of time. Shh. Some of your neighbors might need that. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks so much.